hip hop would not be here if it wasn't for me.
We're talking OGs.
Yes.
I'm talking OG, legendary OG status, triple OGs. You know, when the OGs speak, I tend to listen when OGs speak.
Do you?
Yeah, I try to listen to the OGs and give them their just due until they steer me down the wrong path or they just talk about something that don't make sense. But KRS One, he basically broke down why he did not rock with the Grammys 50-year tribute. And it was basically based off who they've been all the way up until this point. So why would he go there to celebrate it now? So in some of the comment sections, you see people saying, well, there's only one 50th. So you only get this one time. There won't be another 50th. So even if you're frustrated with the Grammys and what they've been and what they've stood for and how hip hop has been marginalized and all that, you still might want to just pop up, just be a part of it. And I think Hammer also said he wasn't rocking with it as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I can understand.
You can understand Hammer more than KRS One?
Hammer more than KRS One.
But what do you think about KRS One basically holding them accountable and not, I guess, going for the okie doke and just showing up at the performance? Because it would have been dope if he would have been there.
I mean, it would have been. But the thing is, like, I understand at one point, yes, the Grammys were very, and they still are. They still have their cultural blind spots. But that's just what's going to happen with something that is not dedicated 100% to hip hop. Okay. But when you watch that show and you see those performances and you see how they honored people, not just people who had big hits, but had cultural impact within hip hop, you know, the native tongues part, the fact that they closed the show with DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, not doing Summertime, not doing Parents Just Don't Understand, but doing brand new funk that speaks to, you know,
I think they ended on Summertime though.
But this is the thing with it was curated by people of the culture. LL Cool J and Questlove, they're the ones who were. It's not like there was some guy in a suit and tie who was trying to say, okay, hey, what can we do here to make people who don't like hip hop at all feel included? I understand why he says, okay, the Grammys have gotten it. We've talked about how the Grammys have gotten it wrong.
Yeah, but KRS One's going to have, he's old enough to have been around all of the BS. So this is a lot of stuff, whatever you want to, however you want to deem it, but he's been around so long, all this is probably built up in him. You see what I'm saying?
I get it. I do get it because, you know, there's some things that, you know, when KRS probably should have been at least nominated for something, he was ignored. You know, and so I can understand where it's like, look, don't ignore my cultural contributions and then invite me to sell and don't have a Grammy celebration and invite me to perform when you've never nominated me, never asked me to present, never do. So I get it. Right. But at the same time, like if I'm in that situation, the people who ask me if LL Cool J, if Questlove, if they ask me to come and participate because we want to honor you, sometimes you got to think larger than your beefs and the petty thing, like, because at the same time I just wanted to be around my friends and peers, you know, to be around new and old, to be around Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince, LL Cool J, De La Soul, Rakim, The Roots. The fact that they had Boosie on there, who they would never invite to the regular Grammys, that was big though. Because you have to acknowledge the cultural impact of Boosie, whether you like him or not.
That's facts.
You know,
that's
for them to have that mindset, it's like, okay, I get it. The Grammys have gotten it wrong. Maybe they were wrong for not televising, you know, our category the first year. They made it up the next year when they gave Young MC his award. But while I understand the moral stance that you have, it's like, man, come on, man, just come and maybe KRS is not one of them dudes who's just wanted to party and kick it with people, even if they're his peers, people he respects. So I get it from both sides, but like if it was me, man, I'd have gone on to the show and performed and been on national TV and pumped up my streaming numbers. I'd have gone ahead and tried to work it into my favor, you know. Do I respect his moral stance? In a way I do, but at the same time, it's like when people of your peer group say, we want to acknowledge you, we want to show love to you, where there have been these cultural blind spots where they have not gotten it right. In a way this is them trying to, I mean, you talk about it, I know he said this whole thing about exploitation and that. Look, anytime you're on TV and they're selling advertisements on your behalf, you're being exploited. You know, in a certain way. Right. You know,
if Don was there, he would have showed up.
He tried to knock Prince B out.
No,
I'm sorry. Is Prince B still alive? Gone. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, Prince B. I get it, KRS One, but it would have been nice to see you there. You know, it'd been nice to see you there, dapping it up with Rakim and Pasta Noose and maybe even Boosie. Man, you know, you don't know. Boosie might be a fan.
I ain't gonna hold you. That's gold. that picture, KRS One and Boosie,
KRS
that's
One
gold.
Boosie, that would have been
That's
incredible.
gold. What you think, Terry? What you think about KRS's opinion on it?
I mean, I can see it both ways, but at
Both
the end
ways.
of the day, it was an opportunity to showcase your contribution to hip hop to those that don't know necessarily what you've done. Being one of the cornerstones of hip hop, having one of the greatest albums of the time with Criminal Minded. I mean, a lot of people's favorite artist was KRS One back in the day, like that. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely probably should have just saved face and did it just to, you know what I'm saying, contribute to those that were there and who had been there with him going through the trenches. That's how I feel. But MC Hammer would have been a treat. If
You
he
ain't
got
lying.
up there with Isla Oakland and had on them dancers that he had paid too much money to, dancing real hard, that would have been solid.
Once again, now I get why MC Hammer hasn't shown up. I get it, man, because you know what? A lot of these people
Hated on you.
hated on you, but at the same time, like, if without Hammer, like, you know, okay. I talked about this a little bit with shout out to Dart Adams, where we talked about he was talking about Hammer's contributions, but
Yes.
and as far as how he set the template for a lot of rappers to get paid, because
Yes.
be clear, that's what Hammer did. You can now him dancing for popcorn chicken was a bit much.
I ain't need that.
Okay,
I didn't need that.
I didn't need that, but
I mean, Mary J sung for chicken sandwiches.
I mean,
I didn't need that either.
yeah, we
though.
didn't need it. But
We
now, when you see, you know, Sweetie and Travis Scott, everybody got their own personal Happy Meals for adults. You know, Megan Thee Stallion singing, you know, got special sauces, like, and nobody bats an eye. You know, we don't really have we can't be talking bad about Hammer and him introducing commercialism. Now, you know, he had his own sneaker deal. Now everybody wants a sneaker deal.
That's a good point.
I
know,
still don't see. I can't exclude KRS One, exclude MC Hammer just because people didn't rock with him. though. I mean, because we've argued that MC Hammer is a integral part of hip hop.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So again, for him to solidify himself as that, this is a reason to show up and prove to everybody why you were. Because when MC Hammer was out, man, you got to be lying or fronting if you said that you didn't rock with him before
somebody
you know what
bought
I'm
all them albums.
exactly before like the Addams Family and all that stuff happened, and when he went like super commercial. Other than that, man, I don't know anybody that was just like MC Hammer.
See, they try to play
other than other rappers.
If Hammer
You know what
got
I'm
on,
saying?
if Hammer got on stage and he'd have done "Let's Get It Started," do you
I'd have
know
lost my mind.
it went nuts.
It went crazy. in
Yeah.
there.
Turn this mother out. I'd have lost
my
my.
God,
I'd have lost
come
my
on.
mind.
He would have called lightning in the bottle that night. I'm telling you, because everybody out there would have appreciated what he did.
Yeah.
honestly.
No, Hammer's definitely the blueprint for a lot of the stuff.
Because
that
you can say what you want, but he sold all them records. There's somebody who is dyed in the wool of hip hop culture, and their first tape was MC Hammer.
But they try to play Hammer like he ain't, to Terry's point. They try to play Hammer like he ain't have joints though. It's deeper than the super commercial. We get all that part.
Yeah.
But Hammer actually had joints though.
The thing
Out
about
the
Hammer
gate,
though,
Hammer had joints.
The thing about Hammer though is other rappers didn't like him.
Yeah.
and it didn't defer his fans. Like people still was like, I still rock with Hammer. They didn't care what Third Base was saying.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody cared. They still was like, all right, he's still that dude at the end of the day. People
still bought them
he's
tickets.
entertaining. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Facts.
saying? MC Hammer
Facts.
was entertaining.
Now the only thing with Hammer, I was like, when he thought he was big, he just became Hammer. And he
Oh,
took
yeah.
the
Well,
MC
he
off.
messed
Like
up then.
that was a mistake.
Yeah, that's a turning point.
Yeah, that's when he was.
MC Hammer sold, you know, them 12, 13 million albums.
That's when he wanted to be gangster. He moved to the Funky Headhunter. And,
No,
Yeah,
when
I-
Hammer was
and stuff.
too legit to quit is when he decided to just be Hammer.
Yeah.
When he just
Well, Too Legit to Quit wasn't
was
bad,
fire, though.
That wasn't bad.
It was heat on there.
But I'm just saying, like, when you think, okay, the MC puts me in the realm with all these other rappers, and I'm just Hammer now because I'm an entertainer, I'm more than a rapper. That was a mistake.
I ain't mad. I ain't necessarily mad at that. I'm more so the whole image change after that. So like when he went over to Death Row and his whole sound change, he was, you know what I'm saying?
But remember, Pumps on a Bump wasn't on Death Row. He was still on Capitol.
was a
But he
change-
was
it was a
still
change,
running
though.
with like Suge and them at that time though.
Hey, Suge and them were running with him. MC Hammer is the most dangerous person in the pictures.
He's not lying.
Please believe it.
He's not lying.
That's why it was funny when rappers was messing with him, because I think Redman might have said something about
He did.
how
Hammer got
Hammer
him
really
together.
wasn't no punk out here.
Hammer got him together.
Checked him at Yo MTV Rap. Was it Yo MTV Rap?
Yeah.
Checked him.
Checked him.
Yeah, around the spot.
He hit him with that I heard them jokes you was telling about me.
With the Mr. T voice.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. Maybe I didn't.
So back to the
I was about to, how'd you beat me to it? Well, what you think about KRS, man? Have we covered everything? Do you care? That's what I want to know.
I think you're both wrong. I think he is absolutely correct.
Oh, you with him 100%.
I'm with KRS.
Okay. Care to divulge?
So here's why I think.
All right.
Because who are the Grammys?
Well, we knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
but some things are bigger than
I don't think
being
so.
the Grammys.
I don't think
do
so.
because it's giving you a platform
to
showcase
the Grammys
to people
platform.
that don't know who you are.
But you're utilizing the platform that is exploiting you. No, I 100% understand what he's saying. Like if somebody who intentionally excludes us from the podcast shows and networks or whatever, right, comes out and then said, hey, we're having this celebration over here. You guys want to be a part of it? And then, okay, cool, we're a part of it. But then it goes back to exactly the same way it was before. That little bit of shine don't mean anything to me.
But what if it's not with them having Questlove?
They got to show and prove.
They got Questlove and LL Cool J as part of the people, like he was saying.
As the producers.
As the producers of the showcase.
For this.
But you don't know if they're still there or not.
I think
they have a couple years of consistency to prove that they will continue to do that.
Yeah.
That's the way that I stand with it.
Okay.
Now, at the same time, I do feel like KRS is coming from a selfish angle.
Okay.
Because he even said it if you listen to it, he said, I am hip hop.
He did say that.
You did not invite me, therefore you did not invite hip hop.
Well, that sounds like a KRS One.
It does. He said, I am the teacher, and I did. I'm saying, okay, now.
Yeah, that's a little extra.
That's a little bit much, but all the points that he was making about, no, this is who you guys are. This is who you have been. You're going to all of a sudden come out on the 50th year. All of a sudden now Questlove and now LL Cool J are putting this together because it's the 50th. Nah, it's just good for hip hop and good for those that were a part of it.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that aspect of it that you guys were talking about. I think that's cool. It's just like y'all want to do it. Cool. That's fine. You know what I mean? But at the same time, from where he's coming from, I actually stand more in line with like his stance than the other stance.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like, I get it both ways, but it was just an opportunity.
I think it's perfectly fine for all of them to do that, though.
I think just to show up to it.
For sure. I think it's great that Questlove's a part of it now. I think this year or however it's going to be. And I think it's great that LL stepped up. And I think it was great that LL invited KRS. And I think all those things are great. But again, that's where it stops.
Hey.
3 episodes in a row. Maybe I'll just start doing that.
That's
where it stops.
That's where it stops.
That's how you put a period on your segment. Be like, and that's where it stops.
That's where it stops. Yeah. Props, but that's where it stops.
Yeah, well, definitely shout out to Boosie performing again. I think that was solid.
Yeah. Has he just stopped performing?
No, I mean, he's never been to the Grammys.
I've never seen Boosie on anything.
Never seen him at the Grammys.
On paper, you would think Boosie's not supposed to be at that. So the fact that he was there and
performing on mainstream television.
Yes. So for him to
Wipe
be
Me
there,
Down.
Yeah,
that's doing Wipe Me Down on CBS. That's crazy,
bro. That's huge. And J Moore, I think you alluded to it earlier when you were talking about his legacy. You have to mention Boosie.
Yeah, you got to mention Boosie.
You have to mention him.
I'm sorry, you can't. I know we may have said some things about Boosie on the show, just in jest, nothing really disrespectful. But when you play "Set It Off" and on any given situation,
come on now,
that's one of them ones.
Especially in this city.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Boosie. Shout out to everybody that went. KRS, we feel you. Lone feels you a lot.
No, just
pause.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I think he stood on principle, and that's what I respect.
That's
he
cool.
definitely stood on his principle.
I can dig it.
No, I mean, like, what? I said to a certain extent, I understand. As a hip hop fan who is selfish, we talked about sometimes how we are selfish as fans. I thought it would have been dope to see KRS with the people, with the other architects.
Yeah. I think it would be. I very much desire a world where a lot more people and entities stood on principle. Definitely goes into it. I'm definitely super biased there.
Well,
so.
Yeah,
I respect it.
He could have used that platform to showcase principle.
He could have. It's a possibility.
Yeah, he could have just got up there and stood there and protested.
Could have.
And had a whole speech about it and dropped the mic and walked off.
And we'd be talking about it.
We definitely would be talking about that.
In the right way.
He got up there and said,
in the right way.
Where are the graffiti artists? Where are the B-boys?
He said that.
That's what I said. He could have brought that point up on national television.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, he did say in his interview before we close it out, he did say, if y'all ever see me at an event like this,
I'm burning it down.
Yeah, just know something's about to go down, and y'all stay tuned.
So maybe he was being respectful.
Yeah, because he probably
maybe he said,
out.
you know, I don't want to do this. LL is a peer and somebody that I respect.
Yeah,
he said that. He said all that.
I don't want to do this to what they're trying to do. So
if he'd have went, he definitely was going to show out.
No, he literally in the interview he was like, "Good for them. I'm happy for it, but I'm no." You know how he does? No.
Hip hop would not be here if it wasn't for me.
Shout out to Slade. Let's try this.
You wait 49 years to call hip hop? What he said.
Hip
hop. Fam was a tad bit upset.
A little bit.